In 1990, Canada witnessed a surge in the theft of high-end luxury vehicles in the country. The severity of this situation prompted a nationwide crackdown on car security. In response to this rampant criminal activity, the automotive industry and insurance companies had to collaborate to face the challenges. Their goal was clear: to make stealing high-end vehicles virtually impossible. Therefore, a new wave of luxury cars was equipped with state-of-the-art anti-theft technologies, including advanced immobilizers, alarm systems, and engine lock technologies. This made stealing them for joyriding or fueling illicit activities nearly impossible. However, these stringent security measures also created an additional layer of protection, making stealing these vehicles a daunting task, even for seasoned criminals. By the early 1990s in Toronto, Canada, an intriguing story unfolded. Despite the advanced security measures and technological advancements, someone attempted to steal luxury vehicles right in the midst of the city. At this point, local police and specialized auto theft units faced one of the greatest challenges in their careers. The activities of this sophisticated thief were not confined to a small locality, but spread across Canada and even into the United States. Every day, high-value luxury vehicles vanished without a trace, and the police were baffled as to how to stem the tide. If these vehicles not only disappeared but also were transported from Canada to locations worldwide, they were nearly impossible to track. A particularly specialized method employed by the police force overwhelmed them. The thief used custom-made locksmithing tools to make stealing these vehicles extremely difficult, even for the most experienced detectives in the country. Police estimates indicated that over 5 luxury cars were stolen and resold each year. And the mastermind behind this operation was Bill Dhaliwal, a Canadian of Indian descent. Bill was not just an ordinary thief, he was a skilled mechanic and an expert in car customization. Leading a large network of organized crime, Bill changed and sold these vehicles to individuals worldwide without raising any suspicion. The police soon realized that Bill was stealing more than 30 luxury vehicles every day, making him a notorious figure in the world of auto theft. So how did this thief accomplish such a feat? Initially, Bill established an auto repair shop along with a modest diner in a suburban area of Toronto. However, this shop wasn't just for car repairs. Bill and his accomplice, Van On, had grand ambitions, and their dreams paid off. Due to his love for making money and his penchant for criminal activities, Bill continued his ventures. After serving time in prison and facing fines for insurance fraud, Bill reemerged with a scheme to defraud the police, car dealerships, and insurance companies. The first step in anhEye's elaborate plan was to scout a local salvage yard. There, Bill found a severely damaged luxury vehicle that had been involved in a serious accident, and was deemed beyond repair by anyone. anhEye salvaged that wrecked vehicle not because he cared about fixing it but because Bill wanted to obtain a valuable piece from it, the vehicle's salvage title, which indicated the car's insane value. This is the most crucial part of any car theft operation. A stolen car only has one VIN, vehicle identification number, issued by the factory. This VIN follows the car's life cycle, and when a car is totaled, this number is supposed to be scrapped, but Bill prepared to transfer it to another car. Those familiar with cars might recognize this as a common tactic known as switching VINs, a practice Vietnam is known for. In Bill's meticulous plan, the first step was to hire an auto body chop shop crew. And he immediately thought of a very suitable candidate for this: Ko Lau. Ko Lau was a renowned figure in the Canadian underworld, particularly as an auto chop shop expert known for his ability to bypass all types of vehicle security systems. Bill approached Ko Lau to assign him a salvage vehicle with a damaged title, one that Bill had already purchased from a salvage yard. Fortunately, Ko Lau quickly agreed to the deal. Usually, these luxury cars are always equipped with advanced security features. But Ko Lau was not lacking in tools and skills to overcome them. Under the cover of darkness, he carefully cut into the vehicle's frame and used his expertise to lock the car securely, ensuring that the ignition was disabled without arousing suspicion. However, Ko Lau's next move was to override the door lock system signal, the most critical part of the car theft process. He utilized a special program, typically used by high-level data hackers, to reprogram the car's computer with a set of lock codes that he had prepared in advance. With finesse, Ko Lao successfully bypassed the car's door lock system and restarted the vehicle. However, as Ko Lao drove off, a remote surveillance team suddenly appeared, almost unexpectedly. Ko Lao quickly maneuvered through alleyways and side streets to evade detection by law enforcement. Fortunately, after a few tense moments, he successfully evaded the surveillance team and safely delivered the stolen vehicle. Here, a critical aspect was accomplished, and at this point, Bai obtained the raw material for his next step. He was ready to transform this stolen car into a fully operational vehicle that could comfortably navigate the streets. This is where the VIN swapping comes in. But the trick here is to transfer the numbers from a salvage vehicle to a stolen one. Bai's first step in this process was to remove all the VIN tags from the stolen car. Initially, of course, the license plates were removed, followed by the window VIN stickers, and finally, the VIN plate on the driver's side. Here, too, the VIN has a hidden number. But Bai was meticulous. He knew that there were still hidden numbers, sometimes referred to as ghost numbers, that could be used to trace the stolen car back to its original VIN even after the regular VIN was removed. With careful observation and a keen eye, Bai would find and remove these hidden numbers. He understood very well that even one overlooked number could unravel his entire plan. A thorough inspection of the stolen car followed with Bai. He often spent a lot of time ensuring that there were no traces of the original VIN remaining. This meticulous process was the key to Bai's success. Aloud, he would sell these cars, disguised as legitimate used vehicles, avoiding detection from both law enforcement and the suspicions of potential buyers. However, after successfully removing the identifying marks of the stolen cars, he needed to start the process of creating perfect counterfeit documents for them. The next step for Bai was to use a counterfeit title based on the information from the salvage vehicles to fool unsuspecting individuals in the car buying and selling industry. These counterfeit titles were incredibly similar to the real thing. Bai bought them from a skilled forger who had the ability to create near-perfect replicas compared to the originals issued by the manufacturer. This part of the process, relatively straightforward, involved Bai simply slotting the fake titles into place of the old ones. However, Bai knew that he needed to take one step further to prevent the police from detecting the altered VINs. In some cars, the VIN is not directly etched, and the car's computer links it to a specific VIN. Therefore, Bai needed to replace the car's computer, which was the final crucial step in that process. Once completed, everything about the car's VIN was perfect to the extent that even a dealership or service center couldn't recognize it. The stolen car's VIN now appeared in a new, clean identity and was ready to be exported. You can see Bai's expertise and dedication here. He not only covered the physical aspects of the VIN but also delved deep into the car's computer system, ensuring that everything, from the VIN display to the digital signatures in the car's computer system, matched perfectly. This level of sophistication made the altered VINs almost indistinguishable from legitimate ones. Now, with the stolen VINs and the car's new identity, Bai needed to take a very important step, registering the car with the DMV. Because with the acquired salvage titles, they did not come with registration. With his excellent forging skills, Bai created a counterfeit package for each car, including fake sales invoices and inspection certificates, meticulously prepared to ensure that the cars could pass the DMV's thorough inspections. After successful registration, the stolen VINs and salvaged cars became legally registered property for use. At this stage, with Bai's approval, he would list the salvaged cars for sale at prices comparable to legitimate market values, and thus, through the registration process and dispersal, a very perfect VIN swapping process was achieved. For Bai, the cost calculation was very accurate. He would spend about $5,000 to register a salvaged car, around $2,000 to purchase a fake frame, and an additional $500 to cover labor costs for reinstalling the frame. Then, he could sell these salvaged cars for almost the same price as their initial selling value. For example, a car originally priced at $80,000 could be sold for $60,000. In comparison to market value, this strategy had two objectives. First, it minimized suspicion due to the reasonable price reduction. Second, it gave the appearance of legitimate commerce, not just a handoff between criminal organizations. It was a sophisticated and organized business model. During this period, Bayou enjoyed remarkably high profits from selling salvaged cars. Law enforcement was operating on the periphery, and the risk of detection was very low. The modified VINs were so skillfully altered that even buyers and inspection agencies couldn't detect any discrepancies. Just from selling one altered VIN, Bayou could earn profits of up to $70,000. The success of his operations was such that he often supplied various types of cars to a large car dealership. However, at this point, a significant problem arose. Bayou no longer had enough salvage cars to meet demand. To address this, he came up with a new system to obtain clean frame numbers. Bayou devised a clever plan. He contacted a collaborator at a car dealership in California, requesting that they provide specific car frame numbers for a fee. But these frame numbers had to meet one condition: they had to be exported and never returned to the dealership. This ensured that no two cars had the same frame number registered at the same location. With that, Bayou established a surveillance network at car dealerships and salvage yards across Canada. This network allowed him to acquire clean frame numbers from salvage cars at reduced prices and avoid duplicates and detection. The Ontario operation had expanded beyond mere theft and salvage operations. Bayou tapped into a larger network, built connections, and created a system that allowed him to sustain and grow his illegal business. Now, with a significant number of on-demand frame numbers, Bayou and his colleague began expanding the system to steal a larger number of cars as needed. His colleague would play a crucial role in providing guidance and training for other professional car thieves to execute car thefts efficiently. This could be considered the world's first car theft training class. His colleague not only studied legitimate systems, but also supervised the group's theft activities. He would recruit some skilled car thieves who were then instructed by him on the technique of car theft to steal those cars. These techniques included guidance on bypassing security systems, handling various locking mechanisms, and even strategies to avoid detection by surveillance. It can be said that it was a very practical science. At this point, anhEye-catching's army, with its skilled thieves, spread throughout the city, with the primary target being high-end cars like Tesla, Porsche, and Lamborghini. This area was a goldmine for their operations because those who came here tended to leave their cars unattended for long periods. In just 3 days, anhEye-catching and his team stole 15 cars from the parking lots without leaving any trace for surveillance. Then, anhEye-catching shifted his focus to the downtown areas and residential neighborhoods with a network of aggressive criminals. Bayou also achieved a milestone with successful sales of 6 cars, earning over $150,000 in profits. But Bayou didn't stop there. He even paid off employees at car dealerships to make keys for him, allowing him to steal cars directly from their lots. This new expertise opened up a much faster avenue for acquiring cars, making car theft easier for Bayou. This operation turned into a well-oiled machine, meticulously planned and executed with precision. His network not only stole cars but also managed the entire life cycle of those cars to maximize profits, meaning they were both sold and repaired. The level of sophistication in car theft was unprecedented, making him a key figure in the underground world of crime in Canada. At this point, his profits had reached tens of millions of dollars annually. Naturally, Bayou was unaware that he had become the target of a secret police investigation. At the peak of his car theft operations, Bayou commanded a team of thieves and coordinated the theft of dozens of cars simultaneously. However, even with perfect planning, there would always be loose ends. And in May 1999, the law caught up with Bayou when he was arrested for possession of a stolen car and sentenced to 6 months in jail. However, even while in prison, he continued his operations. Bayou continued to lead his car theft ring from behind bars, and for a while, his operations continued unabated and automatically. During his time in prison, Bayou, as well as his associates, played an active role in managing the auto repair shop and all car theft operations. In the years following, Baya's organization managed to evade capture multiple times by law enforcement agencies. Authorities were determined to arrest Baya on any charge, whether it be possession of stolen cars or involvement in a car theft ring. Despite being arrested multiple times, Baya managed to avoid serious penalties, only receiving convictions and minor charges. At this point, law enforcement was frustrated, as Baya's clever tactics made them lose face. Eventually, a major breakthrough came when a police informant exposed his entire criminal organization. The police's goal was to expose the intricate details of Baya's gang, its organizational structure, complexity, and his network of accomplices. Therefore, the first crucial step in this law enforcement operation was to infiltrate the core of his network with an undercover police officer. This involved recruiting someone who was a member of the gang and could convince them to cooperate with the police, then introducing the undercover officer as a new member. However, convincing an active member of the gang to cooperate with the police was very difficult. The loyalty within Baya's organization was strong, and nobody was willing to betray him because his recruitment system was extremely stringent. Additionally, Baya offered very generous rewards. Even those who were exposed as traitors could face retaliation from the gang, and the loved ones of the betrayed members would be threatened. But the authorities knew that simply arresting Baya on minor charges wouldn't be enough to stop his operations. By infiltrating the inner workings of his organization, they could gather crucial information to effectively dismantle the entire network. And in June 1999, the police finally made their move. A key member of Baya's car theft ring was arrested, and to avoid going to jail, the police convinced this member to cooperate. They asked him to introduce an undercover officer to Baya's criminal organization as a new member. After some consideration, this key member agreed. The police even provided Baya with a car, which the key member had completed his mission to avoid suspicion. Following this, the undercover officer, named Keoli, pretended to be a skilled car thief to prepare for this covert operation. Keoli was equipped with secret communication devices by the police. On June 25, 1999, Keoli and the key member drove to a place called Phi Lac Sip Motor in Ottario, Canada, where Baya's gang was active. This was a significant step for the police, as infiltrating Baya's organizational activities gave them hope of gathering crucial evidence to dismantle the entire gang network. At this point, Keoli successfully got the key member of the gang to introduce him. This undercover operation even impressed longtime members of the gang, and everything went smoothly. Even Baya, upon meeting Keoli, seemed to like him. Baya was particularly impressed by Keoli's car theft skills. In the first few months after joining, Keoli worked diligently to gain Baya's trust. He contributed well to the gang's activities and adapted to its environment. Keoli also showed genuine kindness in helping and befriending other members. As time went on, Keoli was assigned more car theft tasks. In one particular reconnaissance mission, he was directed to a local car dealership where many high-end cars were displayed, some of which were brand new. There, Keoli met an employee of Baya named Baya Muan-Lai while posing as a customer and discussed maintenance issues. The employee quickly provided him with keys. Upon returning to the gang's hideout with the keys, they encountered an unexpected situation. A fellow gang member had become suspicious of Keoli's previous attempts to persuade another member to cooperate and provide intelligence. But that member was still present in the office. After a brief conversation, Keoli assured him that he was loyal and committed to Baya, calming the situation. However, this incident increased the pressure on Keoli to live in constant fear. The presence of this suspicious member in the gang posed a serious threat to Keoli's life. But Keoli had no choice but to adapt and handle the situation. To dispel any doubts, Keoli went above and beyond, demonstrating complete loyalty to Baya. However, concerns about Keoli's safety increased within the police force, realizing the danger he was facing. They knew it was time for the final phase of the investigation, to strike and dismantle Baya's criminal network. The police meticulously planned a highly organized operation. This operation aimed not only to expose Baya's illegal activities but also to ensure the safety of undercover agent Keoli and the participating officers. Finally, the moment arrived. On that day, Keoli provided the police with information, and a raid was conducted. Nearly all members of the gang, including Bayu, were present at a meeting discussing future plans and a stolen car deal. The police executed the raid swiftly and precisely, arresting all members present. Even in Bayu's hands, they found irrefutable evidence, including a strange warehouse, counterfeit documents, a computer containing business operations data, a dossier with forged papers, and documents related to stolen cars for resale, a set of car keys, and a large sum of money hidden in a safe. The operation began extremely successfully, so much so that to ensure the safety of undercover agent Keoli, the police arrested him along with other prisoners. At the same time, Keoli managed to gain the trust of Bayu and the key figures in the gang. Meanwhile, a lawyer with ties to a large car theft network had begun advising Keoli on how to refute the allegations made by the authorities, but he was unaware of Keoli's true identity. This conversation revealed all the tricks of the key figures, aimed at evading the police. In their efforts to cover their tracks, Bayu also instructed Keoli to deny all accusations and assert his innocence. "I don't know anything about those stolen cars, I'm just a transporter," he said. However, a dramatic turning point occurred during the conversation between the three men when the police intercepted the entire dialogue. At that moment, the cards were revealed. Keoli appeared in a completely different role, an undercover police officer. Upon witnessing this truth, Bayu was shocked. He had never expected to be deceived so thoroughly. But the conversation that Bayu had with Keoli and the tactics he shared were all exposed. The plan they had devised together was also revealed. In that moment, Bayu began to imagine the next outcome clearly. It was evident that Bayu had been clever in combining his legitimate car company with illegal activities and hiring employees who could handle various tasks. But there were still loopholes. Ca Lao Di, an important figure in Bayu's organization, received a 7-year sentence after confessing to his role in large-scale car smuggling operations. He also provided additional evidence of the scale and nature of the criminal network operated by Bayu. Based on this compelling evidence, gathered during Keoli's time as an informant, Bayu was finally convicted of multiple charges. Managing a criminal organization. Bayu's wife, Mrs. Kyon-git, along with 3 other key members of the organization, were also convicted of racketeering. Mr. Chung received up to 5 years. Managing operations in a large-scale smuggling organization. This leader was sentenced to 7 years. Managing car theft and forgery operations resulted in a 15-year sentence. Bayu's wife, Mrs. Kyon-git, along with 2 senior members of the gang, also received 7-year sentences. Additionally, over 30 members of the gang were sentenced to 1 to 5 years in prison for their involvement in car theft and forgery. Despite completing his 15-year sentence, Bayu showed no remorse or signs of being affected by prison life. He returned to his criminal lifestyle. At the age of 66, Bayu found himself entangled in legal issues again and was once again sentenced in 2022, this time for 1 year. Naturally, he engaged in a new car theft scheme. A police investigation uncovered $11 million, 5 of which were found in vehicles. In his second trial, Bayu was sentenced to 6 years in prison, reduced from his initial sentence, but in a somewhat curious twist, he was released on parole after only 4 months. This raised many theories about the influence behind this kingpin. Like his previous large-scale car theft operations, someone argued that Bayu's success in evading law enforcement for so long was undoubtedly due to corruption within the authorities. However, this was not proven, and thus, Bayu remained the undisputed kingpin of car theft in Canada. As for you, you have learned about this individual and Bayu's story. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and for now, goodbye and see you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.